Elon Musk just found your name. Pause, let those words settle for a second. That's right. Your name. Right now, somewhere out there, Elon Musk, a man known for sending rockets past the sky and ideas across the boundaries of human imagination, has uncovered a detail with your name on it. Maybe you're tempted to roll your eyes, maybe you're even midway through scrolling past, thinking there's no way this has anything to do with you. That's exactly what most people would think. That's why most people stay on the outside, but what if you didn't? What if, just for tonight, you didn't rush past the moment? Midnight's not just some deadline on the clock. It's a horizon. A turning point. It's when old routines slip into the shadows, and the decisions you didn't make become the stories you tell yourself tomorrow. What's strange is how opportunity and regret can look almost identical in the dark. A single decision separates what if and I almost. And tonight, well, tonight is a window. Elon Musk didn't just find your name because of luck. He's not the kind of person who believes in luck. He believes in patterns, signs, outliers, people who don't just settle for maybe one day. He looks for the few who pause long enough to notice, really notice, the door that just swung open. What you don't know is this: while you're listening, things have already started moving. There's movement in the darkness that wasn't there before, a ripple that began the moment your name registered, an invisible thread now tugging at your attention. Most people, heck, almost everyone, gets distracted even before the story really starts. Why? Because the world is engineered for noise. Notifications, endless waves of urgent updates that fade before you even remember what you just read. So, ask yourself, when's the last time you heard something that actually stayed with you? That you felt in your chest, not just the surface of your mind? Let's pull back for a second. Just breathe. Notice where you are right now. Maybe you're sitting somewhere familiar, the hum of lights, the ticking of a clock, the routine chaos of daily life running in the background. But, tonight, something is different. There's a reason you're still here. Out of countless other moments, you're here, listening, still curious. That isn't an accident, and deep down, you know it. So what does it actually mean? Elon Musk just found your name. Think about the unlikeliest connections, the moments that don't fit logic, the split seconds where something just clicks. Elon has spent his life ignoring the limits everyone else believes in, skipping over the rules of how things are supposed to work. Nobody told him a car company could survive. Nobody said humanity was meant for Mars. And yet, he reached for it anyway. Now his attention has landed, even for a flicker, near your world. That's not just a news headline, that's a nudge from the universe, one you can't buy, one you can only answer. You're skeptical. I get it. In a world of polished promises and viral distractions, who wouldn't be? That's what makes this different. Because tonight isn't about grand declarations or empty hype. It's about a chance, maybe the only one you'll get, before midnight hits. Something small, just for you, slid into the blur of possibility. Imagine, for a moment, you're standing at the edge of that familiar hallway. The night air is thick, the moon leaking a faint glow across your closed curtains. You hear an unexpected sound, the shuffle of footsteps, the creak of a floorboard. Your mind does that quick calculation, routine or anomaly? Ignore or investigate? Most people silence that instinct, drown it in doubt or habit. But the few who listen, they find the invitation tucked where nobody else looks. If you could step outside yourself right now, you'd see what Elon sees. Not your routines, not your doubts, not the 1,000 reasons things can't work. No, he sees the potential hidden under the static. The reason your name isn't lost in some spreadsheet, but circled, highlighted, traced across a moment that was always waiting for you. That's not fiction. That's not fantasy. That's the real story, and for the first time in a long time, you're not just reading about someone else, you're the main character. You know what's wild? If you turn away now, that invisible thread fades back into the dark. Your chance, your window, and yeah, maybe your midnight, dissolves back into routine. But if you don't, if you let the suggestion linger, just a moment longer, what happens on the other side of midnight could be the story you remember for the rest of your life. Nobody dreams of being ordinary, but ordinary is easy. It's everywhere. It's safe, camouflaged, the silent heartbeat under the world's chaos. But if you've kept listening to this point, you're not like most people. Maybe you've spent years hiding the part of you that wants more, the part that burns every time you see someone make the leap you always talked yourself out of. Tonight, that part is restless. Tonight, someone, maybe Elon Musk, maybe fate, maybe the future you didn't dare write, put your name into the stream and pressed send. There's still time, not much, but just enough. Midnight is a line you haven't crossed yet. The window is sliding closed, slow at first, but gaining speed, a countdown that only matters if you pause long enough to notice. And here, now, you've done what almost no one does, you've stayed. You're still here. There's magic in that. There's a promise that's bigger than chance or marketing or empty words. The question is, will you answer it? Pause with me, let it sink in. Maybe you're feeling it now, that low hum behind your ribs, the sense that something is about to happen but you can't name what. This isn't like any other night. Not because of some celebrity or billionaire name drop, but because for the first time, you can sense that you're at the edge of something real. There are moments that reroute your whole direction, even if they start quietly, and sometimes, all it takes is seeing your own name stitched into a story you never thought you'd be part of. You might be wondering, why me? Why tonight? Why out of all the millions of people scrolling and swiping did this story turn toward you? That doubt is natural, it's familiar. Because most of the world is built on telling you to shrink, to step back and wait your turn, to keep your dreams manageable and your expectations realistic. Elon Musk isn't fascinated with realism. You already know that. He's fascinated by the messy, illogical, impossible pursuit of things no one else even tries. And sometimes, that means seeing people like you, who are one decision away from bursting out of their old life. Sometimes, all it takes to tilt the balance is a single choice before time runs out. So, here you are, blinking at your screen, phone in hand, the minutes sliding past with that relentless tick-tock. You can almost see the thin thread connecting now to midnight. Every second you stay is a step out of the predictable, a move away from someday and toward right now. Pause for a moment. Seriously. Inhale, hold it, exhale slowly. Notice your heartbeat, the air on your skin, the quiet in your space. There's a reason you can feel this scene as if it's unfolding live. It's not just a script. It's not just a story. It's an invitation with teeth, sharp enough to carve out a memory that could rewrite tomorrow. Because here's the truth, most once-in-a-lifetime moments don't look legendary. They arrive disguised as something you could ignore, something you could brush off with a laugh or a sigh or a single swipe upward. But later, days, weeks, maybe years later, you replay that memory. You ask yourself if things could have twisted a different way if you had just let yourself hope for a little more. That's why tonight matters. Let's step into the contrast. Picture for a second what happens if you tune out right now, slide your phone back into your pocket, shake your head at this sense of anticipation. The night will keep rolling forward. The world won't notice. You'll go back to your old routines, tell yourself maybe nothing was waiting for you anyway. You'll feel the relief first, safe in your own little box, letting curiosity starve before it sparks. But wait, before you step back, think of the last time you actually said yes to the unknown. To a dare. To a mystery. To something that left your hands shaking because it was real enough to risk. Now, look the other way. What if you stayed? What if you let that tension stretch another minute? What if you gave in to the smallest flicker of trust, that this, of all nights, was more than background noise? That's the way every breakthrough starts, not with clarity, not with guarantees, but with a strange, gentle urge to keep going, to open the next door, even if you can't see all the edges. Let's make this even more honest. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you've felt let down more times than you want to admit. Maybe you built thick armor, the kind that saved you disappointment but also kept out any surprise. Elon Musk has eaten disappointment for breakfast. He's heard the laughter, the mockery, the word impossible repeated so often it became almost meaningless. The difference isn't genius or money or fame. It's willingness, the raw, trembling willingness to keep saying yes even when there's no visible reward. What does that look like tonight? It looks like you holding this moment in your palms, testing its weight, the way you'd weigh a package at your doorstep before you open it. It looks like letting yourself pause, not out of fear, but out of genuine, radical curiosity. Curiosity is the lifeblood of those who change their fate. It's the one thing nobody can fake, nobody can sell, nobody can program away. Close your eyes with me, seriously, just try it for 3 seconds. Picture your front door under moonlight. See your name in crisp letters. Imagine the envelope, the package, the signal, not from some faceless marketing team but signed, if only metaphorically, from Elon Musk. You touch it, your heart stutters, you look around as if the world might catch you in the act of hoping. That's where breakthroughs live, right at the edge of what could be real or could be forgotten. Don't laugh this off. Sometimes, you need to breathe through the awkwardness, the little spike of self-doubt, and then let the idea in anyway. Because the greatest stories don't start with proof, they start with a question. The world isn't shaped by the crowd pressing yes on every obvious opportunity. It's shaped by the rare, the audacious few who answer the knock at midnight, even if their hands shake with confusion and hope mixed together. Listen to your gut right now. Is it stirring? Is something pulling you forward? Or are you bracing to turn away, waiting for a voice to tell you it's all just a game? Here's what I know, the people who lean in, who let possibility sting, aren't reckless. They're just tired of living someone else's script. Tonight, you get to decide if that's you. The offer is real. The window is closing. And the only difference between regret and revolution is whether you hold your nerve for one heartbeat more. Let's linger at the edge, right here, together, because the story is just beginning. So, still here? Feels different, doesn't it? Most people would have checked out by now, let their attention drift to something easier, something predictable, something with less at stake. But not you. You're still listening. And if you're still here, that means your story hasn't been written off yet. It means there's still electricity in the air between decision and arrival. Let's strip away the stars and the headlines for a second, just you, your name, and this moment, clean and quiet. Imagine the clock, 10:47 p.m. Every minute ticking closer to midnight, the weight of possibility growing sharper with every passing second. Elon Musk, for all his fame and all his vision, knows something most people ignore: the universe rewards those who don't turn away. He's bet his life on it, over and over again. This isn't about becoming Elon Musk. This isn't about Mars colonies, or starting car companies, or even about chasing someone else's wild vision. This is about reclaiming that tiny but seismic idea that maybe, just maybe, you can be the exception to the rule. Not someday, not if someone else gives you permission, but tonight, by what you choose next. Look, the truth is, opportunity is almost completely silent. It doesn't care about your calendar. It doesn't sync with reminders. It shows up quietly, dressed as a message, a nudge, a strange flutter in your chest while the rest of the world pretends not to notice. You don't have to be loud. You only have to be awake when it comes. Pause. Think about every fork-in-the-road moment in your own timeline. Not the big, obvious ones, but the small cracks where you almost said yes, almost called back, almost went left instead of right. There's a whole invisible biography living between those lines, a version of you that took the risk, opened the door, bought the ticket, answered the call. Could you live with never knowing what would have happened if you had just stepped forward? Tonight is this crack in the surface. Midnight draws closer, life, for a second, held in suspension. This isn't hype, it's an inflection point. You standing here, listening this deeply, has already set you apart. Now, let's talk about doubt for a minute. It's human, isn't it? You might be wondering if it's safer to expect nothing. That's the old survival trick: lower your expectations, protect your heart. But does that actually keep you safe, or does it keep you smaller than you were meant to be? Elon Musk's road has been littered with skeptics, warnings, statistics, and failure. But he learned the only thing scarier than disappointment is never trying at all. Maybe you've written yourself out of stories before. Maybe you felt invisible, anonymous, predictable. But not tonight. Tonight, you're the one being called to the edge. That edge isn't cozy. It isn't clear. But do you really want your story to be one of comfort zones and what-ifs? Or do you, just for tonight, want to risk the kind of hope that makes your hands sweat and your mind race? Let's be honest, most of the world passes up the package on the porch. They walk past the open invitation because it doesn't look shiny enough, or safe enough, or because it asks for something real in return: your attention, your courage, your willingness to stand just a little outside the crowd. If you paid attention to every envy-rousing story, you know they don't begin with glitter. They begin with mess, doubt, sometimes even laughter from the people watching from windows while you cross the street. But let's flip the lens. What if tonight, your name is the one being read out? Not because you were chosen at random, not because you're special, but because you are simply willing to step up when the door cracks open. That's all it really takes. Not magic. Not easy. But honest, open, inconvenient willingness. Step with me, for a second, into a quieter room. Look around, nobody else here now, just you and a question echoing off the walls: if not now, when? If not you, who? You don't need to answer right away. Just let it roll around for a bit. Hear the sound of your own name. Hear your own story demanding something sharper than repetition. Doubt whispers, wait for tomorrow. But tomorrow is trained to look exactly like today. That's the trick. And in that sameness, opportunities dry up, like ink turning invisible on a letter left out in the sun. Midnight is approaching. Your time to decide isn't infinite. It's measured in heartbeats, in a finite handful of lingering seconds where curiosity outweighs self-protection. This is uncomfortable by design, because change never feels cozy at first. It's awkward, raw, shaky. But if you can hold on, if you keep your gaze open a little longer, you'll realize this discomfort is the invitation itself. What's waiting at the end of all this? Maybe it's not a literal package. Maybe it's not even news from Elon Musk. Maybe it's the gentle but life-altering shock that comes with realizing you are still in control of your story. You, right now, have the authority to make this night mean something. You don't need proof. You don't need consensus. You only need to want more than just a rerun of yesterday. And since you're still listening, still leaning in, heart pounding and mind wide open, I can tell you this: tonight, with your name on the line, you're already in rarefied air. Let's sit here, holding that recognition. Because if you make it through these moments, there's nothing you can't open. Not a box. Not a door. Not a future. Pause, breathe in the suspense. The seconds keep slipping, can you feel it? That hush, right before everything tilts. The last stretch before midnight, before chance turns into either a missed chapter or the first line of a new one. You are right here, facing the choice at the end of all roads: step back and blend, or reach out and open what the world has sent you. You've probably brushed up against your own hesitation 100 times, a text you almost sent, an idea you nearly pitched, a door you almost walked through before convincing yourself it wasn't the right time. But moments like this don't repeat with the world's permission. They choose you in the dark, when you're uncertain, when the cost of doing nothing is the silent thief you rarely name: regret. Elon Musk chases the unknown, not with confidence, but with an urgency that says, why not me? Why not now? He doesn't wait for proof that the path will work, he trusts the pull of possibility over the guarantee of safety. You, too, are standing on that line. The universe, whatever name you give it, doesn't care about resumes, degrees, bank accounts, or how settled you appear from the outside. It just wants to know if you'll answer. So pause, hear the atmosphere change as midnight approaches. This isn't a threat, it's a reminder that time's greatest gift is that it runs out. It's the friction that turns ordinary into never forgotten. You don't need a parade, a viral hashtag, or outside applause. All you need is to claim your part in the story before the final chime. Maybe for the first time in forever, you are free from an audience. All eyes are turned, the world is half asleep. It's just you, your name on the metaphorical envelope, and the power to answer, one way or another. Imagine for a heartbeat that the package is real. You stand before the door, moon splinters across the threshold, the hallway suddenly feels unfamiliar. Your breath is louder. Your hands hover, uncertain. What if tonight, your next move ripples outward, setting off a chain of events you couldn't predict, repainting the blank pages of tomorrow? No lights, no confetti, just the silent courage of acting without a map. That is where every impossible story truly begins. Maybe you don't know what's in that package. Maybe you never will, unless you choose the risk that lives inside the question. But what if, for once, you trusted the suspicion that your name landed here for a reason? Sure, most things end up as recycled cardboard and wasted chances. But every world-changing moment was delivered to someone who didn't toss it onto the pile of safe decisions. The ones who open the package, whatever it holds, are the ones who travel further than anyone else imagined. Tonight, that can be you. And yes, the world may never see you do it. No one may cheer or even notice. But you will. You will wake up with possibility thrumming in your veins and an old voice finally silenced, the one that whispers, "Not you. Not this time." You have the rarest tool there is, attention. Not the frantic, scattered kind but the real thing, the willingness to sit through your own doubt, the discipline to listen all the way to the end. Pause again. Let your mind stretch over everything you almost missed in life, the blank space between comfort and boldness. See your own reflection in that closed door, then watch your hand move, almost against your own logic, toward the unknown. That's what Elon Musk means when he talks about risk and vision. Not the spectacle, not the headlines, but the discipline to stay present, to refuse to walk away just because nobody else believes tonight can be different. Every revolution starts as a whisper, an anomaly, a single name read in a crowd, a single person willing to say yes while everyone else waits for proof. And now, as the final seconds crowd in around midnight, you hold the last piece. The world will move on, but this memory will outlast the scroll, the tap, the next distraction. This was your time, your invitation unopened, your story paused at its most electric line. Midnight arrives whether you're ready or not. But the door is yours to open, or to leave closed with the rest. One more breath, one more chance before the clock resets. What will you do? Blend back into safe grays and old patterns, or step forward and reach for what might be, no matter what others say, no matter what the past decided for you. Because this is not a story about Elon Musk. It's not even a story about a box or a message. Every line was written for the unpredictable, unfinished, bright edge of you. Right now, as midnight settles outside your window, you are the headline. You are the exception in a world that wants sameness. This is your address. Your move. One final question as the chime sounds. Will you step through? Or will you leave possibility waiting on your doorstep? The answer is yours. And if you choose to open that box, this night, this single, fragile point in time, will split your story into before and after. Elon Musk just found your name. Open this before midnight.